SNAP does not go to undocumented immigrants. CHIP does not go to undocumented immigrants.
It absolutely
I don't know.
It is a disgrace. It's a disgrace that we have an American city that is essentially being occupied by left-wing radicals, and the locals won't do anything about it. And so now the president...
Exaggeration of what's
it
happening
is not
in
an
Portland.
exaggeration.
I mean,
I see the video. Well, no, the predicate is that Portland has been occupied by Antifa for quite some time. You guys keep calling them protests. These aren't protests. These are violent people. They're attacking law enforcement. They're attacking federal facilities. The President of the United States has every obligation to defend federal facilities and federal personnel there. I agree with you. It is a disgrace. It's a disgrace that we have an American city that is essentially being occupied by left-wing radicals, and the locals won't do anything about it. And so now the president...
Exaggeration of what's
it
happening
is not
in
an
Portland.
exaggeration.
I mean,
I see the video.
By local officials has been described as something that's essentially happening in one city block of Portland.
They are assaulting the ICE facilities. They are assaulting the ICE agents.
It's a city, and it's not a perfect city, but it is a city. And something occurring in one city block is suddenly Portland is war-ravaged.
Do you dispute that they've attacked the ICE facility?
I didn't say anything about that. I said that it's happening in one block of the city.
Is that,
so?
How many blocks is it?
Does that constitute Portland being a war-ravaged city?
I think what's happened in Portland is a disgrace. Nobody wants to go there. And yes, parts of the city are ravaged by these protesters, and federal officials
the city as being
believe their facilities are under attack.
Even when there are violent protests, which, by the way, nothing new about violent protests, as you know.
So it's not new, so we should let it go.
When violent protests happen, law enforcement has a responsibility to handle it. But would you describe an entire city as war-ravaged when there are protests, even if they're violent, that's happening outside of a single building?
Yes, I would say if there are violent protests happening against a federal facility, they are being ravaged. I completely agree with that language.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, of course she's not talking about the attacks on ICE facilities, because those have been happening going back to 2018. And if we're just talking about Portland, that place has definitely been like a war zone over the course of the last 8 years.
Describe an entire city as war-ravaged when there are protests, even if they're violent?
You might have noticed Jennings saying, "I've seen the video," because they're not showing any of that video on CNN, MSNBC, or any of the Democrat-controlled networks. And this has been their policy going back to, I don't know, 2018 or so, when Antifa and BLM were destroying Portland the first time. I know I'm right, too, because I have to be very sparing about posting any of that video because YouTube will demonetize it.
The other debate about who's going to get taxpayer-funded Medicaid in this country, that's what the memes are about. That's what the fight is about. Democrats want to make it about this subsidy issue. They don't run out to the end of the year, by the way. But the real thing is they filed legislation to repeal what the Republicans did this summer. And so these two issues have been conflated. But the fact is they don't just want the subsidies. They want other things. And the president is drawing attention to it, I think, in a pretty clever way. We just had a national emergency about telling jokes. I don't know why people
still
can't take
not
a joke.
going to illegal immigrants, Scott.
It is.
And
it really does.
It's not.
It really does.
So
it does in several blue states.
Scott, no, it's not.
It really does.
Listen, the part of the bill that deals with the money that goes to states, it doesn't say anything about their immigration policy. So red state or blue state, those states are getting less money from the federal government. That still has to be dealt with. And that has nothing to do with immigration. And again, Medicaid does not go to undocumented immigrants. SNAP does not go to undocumented immigrants. CHIP does not go to undocumented immigrants.
It absolutely does.
I don't know. I mean, Scott.
Got her.
Okay, we all know that these illegal aliens are getting health care benefits. Democrats have not been shy at all about wanting to get these health care benefits to illegal aliens.
This is a show of hands question, and hold them up for a moment so people can see. Raise your hand if your government plan would provide coverage for undocumented immigrants. Okay, let me start with you, Mayor Buttigieg. Why?
Campaign on universal health care. We're delivering that. We are implementing our
ideals. We are manifesting this principle, this fundamental notion that so many of us have been preaching for years and years and years: universal health care for all, regardless of pre-existing condition, regardless of the ability to pay, and regardless of your immigration status. If you care not just about values and principles of morality, but if your only values and principles are advanced through economics, then that alone should be an argument in favor of universal health care, a pathway and a framework for 1.1 million undocumented residents in the state of California to avail themselves to high quality, comprehensive medical care, long-term, short-term, preventative, as well as in-home support service care and coverage.
Now, Newsom says California is facing a $12 billion deficit. Governor is proposing freezing enrollment in state-funded health care for undocumented immigrants.
Every individual who is a resident of the United States is entitled to benefits for health care services under this act. Not every individual who's a citizen, but every individual who's a resident. So you support giving universal health care, Medicare for all, to people who are in this country illegally?
Let me just be very clear about this. I am opposed to any policy that would deny in our country any human being from access to public safety, public education, or public health, period.
And again, Medicaid does not go to undocumented immigrants. SNAP does not go to undocumented immigrants. CHIP does not go to undocumented immigrants.
It absolutely does.
I don't know.
All right, folks. Well, that's all I have for that one. But if you've made it this far, you might as well hit that like button and subscribe. I do post on a regular basis, so keep checking back for more. And if you'd like to support this channel, you can find all those links in the description or pinned comment.